Hi everyone. Well, today we're going to review another sample from our New York City meetup. But this sample is different because it's tequila, not bourbon. And this sample is G4 Blanco Tequila 108 proof. And the sample is courtesy of my friend, Bourbon Barry. Now, anyone who watches my videos knows what a huge fan of Bourbon Barry I am. He's got so much great content, so many different video series that he does, and I don't even know where to start, but just to name some of my favorites. First of all, he's done some great blind Weeder Wars, love those. Wistery, I mean, the detail of Bourbon Barry putting on his history hat there and telling us about the history of whiskey. It's fascinating. You learn so much. Science Saturday, that's must-see TikTok for me. His Retastables, where he goes back and gives a bottle another shot. And then everything from his American single malt. He's not just, his name is Bourbon Barry, but he's gone into American single malt. And obviously by the sample here, tequila as well. He's just got so much great content. Definitely, if you're not following Bourbon Barry, you definitely should. Definitely follow Bourbon Barry. Now, a few weeks back, I did a series of tastings of different tequilas. I got some tequila samples from Agave Love and Lore, and two of those samples were G4. One was a G4 Blanco, 80 proof, and the other one was a G4 Reposado, also 80 proof. The two of them, I mean, the Reposado is supposed to be aged a little bit more, the Blanco, basically nothing. And the color looked exactly the same. I really honestly could not detect anything differently between them. And quite honestly, I wasn't totally thrilled with them. There were other tequilas that I liked more. I found there was another Reposado and also Añejo. I think I need some aging in there. So this one right here, it's G4 Blanco all over again. There's barely any aging. I think a Blanco, maybe is a couple of weeks, just some basic, there's basically nothing. And you could see, obviously, the clear color. So this is a Blanco, but what's different in this case, that was an 80 proof. This is 108 proof. I have never tasted a tequila other than 80 proof. This is very interesting to me. Now, with bourbon, I find that sometimes higher proof, I may not like something at a lower proof, but when I have it at a higher proof, I've had a lot of examples where I've liked it. I'm wondering if something like that may apply to tequila too, and not just bourbon and whiskey. So we're going to put this in a glass and see if a G4 Blanco at 108 proof may appeal to me more than a G4 Blanco at the regular 80 proof. And basically, just really quick, this has no additives in it. It's twice distilled. So don't have a lot more information on that other than this. So let's just get this in a glass and let's see how much better or not 108 proof Blanco tequila is. Okay, so we have this poured in a glass, and as I always do with Bourbon Barry samples, take a look at these great samples from Liquid Ministry. Logo on the front, measurements on the back. So take a look. This is obviously a Blanco is clear. Reposado, not so much, light brown, and then you get to the extra aging. But since this is barely any aging, it looks like a clear spirit, which Blanco tequila is. It would look like a vodka or just a basic, looks like water. So there's no color to this. Let's give this a nose. All right, so right away, this has got that, it's got that, I don't know what else to say other than if it's agave, but it's got that tequila smell to me that not so thrilled with. I had a tequila of mine, El Mejor tequila, that had that same smell. And if it's I don't know if it's citrusy, if it's fruity, but it's the nose itself, and it's a little bit more potent with the proof. But let's get right into the taste. Cheers. All right, well, one sip of this right away. I'll tell you one thing. I like this better than the G4 Blanco 80 proof, as well as the G4 Reposado 80 proof. So right off the bat, I like this better at the higher proof. It seems to be, I can tell right away, that same principle that applies with me for certain bourbons, in the bourbon world where I like something better at the higher proof than the lower proof, seems to also not just be limited to bourbon, but it seems to apply to tequila as well. Oh, yes, I'm not going to say this is, my favorite pour in the world. It's still a different taste to me, but this is about 100 times, I like this 100 times better than I did the G4 Blanco at 80 proof. So proof for me, I could definitely say is going to be a factor in tequila just as it is in bourbon. There's definitely, as far as flavor, I'm getting, it's just a lot. I don't know if it's citrus, if it's cinnamon, if it's pepper. I'm getting an array of tastes. I'm not as good at describing these tastes because they're all quite different than bourbon. But let's just put it this way: yes, this is to me. I mean, this I could sip on. This is not. This is pretty good. Again, it's tequila. It's still. I can't say I absolutely love this, but at the same time, this is a much better. I find this much more enjoyable than the regular 80 proof G4 Blanco and G4 tequila. So there you go. I mean, this is definitely. And I have a feeling I'm going to drink more of this. I'm going to like it more as I go along. So I do like this. Bourbon Barry, thank you. You got to follow Bourbon Barry. He's a great guy, great content, and I truly appreciate you, Bourbon Barry, and thank you all for watching. I have one more sample from our New York City meetup, and that's going to be bourbon. That'll be our next one. Cheers, take care. Thanks for watching.